They won one in overtime and then fell in a shootout. They have points in 7 straight games and are now just 1 point behind Trinity Western for hosting rights of a Canada West quarterfinal matchup. And this should be a big weekend, both for the Alberta Pandas, but also the team visiting the always fierce rival Saskatchewan Huskies, who are in a playoff battle of their own right. Riley, welcome back to the broadcast. What kind of things are you looking for from this matchup tonight?
Yeah, after a tough split last week in Regina, look for these Pandas to get back on track with the help of Riley Smith, coming off a very productive weekend in Regina. 2 goals. She definitely needs to help the Pandas jumpstart this pretty stagnant offense so far this new year. And then on the other side, the Huskies, they got Bronwyn Boucher, who leads their team in power play goals. She has 9 points, and she's definitely the player to watch for the Huskies tonight.
And a couple of additions to that. Riley Smith, praised by Coach Draper, and again had no goals in her career, which was part of the due to a lengthy injury layoff, but has now 3 goals since early December, including 5 points in her last 4 games. So has stepped up with that blue line offense. And Boucher, on the other hand, excellent, but she's got to stay out of the box. 34 penalty minutes on the year for Boucher, which is tops amongst all players in Canada West. As we welcome the Pandas back to the ice for the first time this year as well. Again, just 1 point behind Trinity Western for second place in the Canada West Western Division standing. As we'll go ahead and take a look now at our starting lineups for today. Starting with the visiting Saskatchewan Huskies. In goal, it'll be Clare Drake, who will be making her 8th start of the year. She will have in front of her on the defensive side of things, Jacqueline Chief, wearing number 3, as well as number 28, Avery Gottslig, one of their better offensive defensemen for the Huskies. On the forward line for Saskatchewan, it will be number 8. And welcome back inside Clare Drake Arena. Patrick Erickson and Riley Turgeon happy to bring you Pandas hockey here on this Friday evening. It is cold outside, so come in into a nice rink and warm on up. It's nearly minus 30. It's overnight, but it is certainly a warm atmosphere in here. Good crowd on hand, and this should be an exciting one. Riley, any final thoughts from you before we get this underway?
Yeah, don't expect a high-scoring affair from the game tonight. Neither of these teams really average a lot of goals, so expect some tough, gritty, hard-nosed hockey out there tonight. And
it might be finding the back of the net for the Pandas. They had in the win against Regina that opened up this season, or the 2026 portion of their season, 51 shots in that game, and they needed to wait until an overtime winner by Captain Natalie Kieser, but they did find it. So shot generation, not a problem in the last two games, just getting those ones past the netminder here as we are underway. Pandas in their gold and greens and are offside. They will be going right to left. Saskatchewan in their primary blacks with green highlights going left to right here. Again, we're happy to welcome in a national audience on CBC right now as we are here for Canada West's game of the week for women's hockey, as we are back underway here after a brief delay as the Huskies control the face-off. And the Pandas force the puck into the Husky zone where it is pursued. No icing. And the Huskies will pick it up and try to exit the zone. They cannot. It's picked off. And now Holly Magnus from behind the net for the Pandas. Circling with it. Backhands around. Chase Melnick with her, trying to keep it in. Huskies in possession, but trying to skate out from behind their own net. And this transition, zone exits and entries, a big point of emphasis from Coach Draper, Coach Howie Draper of the Alberta Pandas, specifically noting how lethal the Huskies can be in transition. And early on, it is the Pandas now trying, as a long stretch pass from goaltender Mackenzie Dojon nearly connected with Ryan Parrott, and that was played with the high stick, so we'll kill play right here. 1 minute into this one, no shots, no goal. And kind of what you'd expect, a little bit of scrappy start for both teams that are making their first couple appearances of the new year. Yeah, definitely, and that's something I like to see from Dojon, those long stretch passes down the ice to get the girls out in transition. Well executed. And trying to catch Saskatchewan in a line change, nearly did. Here is Liana Rosari with the good pressure, steals the puck, bursts in, she'll shoot, first shot in on net. There's a rebound, it's loose and almost poked home by Bordetti, but equal to the task was Clara Jucha there with a couple of saves, I do believe. So far, credit for one. It looked like the second follow-up as well. Either way, kept it out. And now Riley Smith from deep, that one in, and another save for Jucha. And she'll cover up this time, and a good offensive zone possession there by the Pandas, started by that pesky Liana Rosari. And it's just a matter of time before she finds her first regular season goal. She did score in an exhibition over the winter break, but first Canada West goal for her. She's on the cusp of it, and I like finding Riley Smith at the top, too. She's got the hot stick right now. 3 goals since early December, 5 points in her last 4 games. Again, she's started late in this year, missed all of last year with injury as well as half of the year before. So, and honestly, since she's come back, it didn't look like she really was rusty at all, and she's been a huge boost for Panda's blue line that lost a couple of key players from last year in Taylor Anchor and Brooklyn Twos. Pandas get it in. It's Haley Carruthers, settled down by Jucha. And around it goes. Huskies struggling to exit their zone right now, and it's turned over. Here's Carruthers, and she tried to pick out blocker high corner and didn't miss by much. Carruthers has a terrific shot and didn't miss by more than a few inches there. Huskies still unable to get it out. Now they do, but it's right to Magnus, who takes a bump from behind. Loose pass there, and Cazell calmly handles that one. And now Magnus bursts up the other way. Top line out for the Pandas. Soiko trying to go between two Huskies. Does enough to get it off. The Kieser in the left corner, loses her skates. And now the Huskies regain possession, trying to skate it out. And they will. And a bit of a bump there off the puck as Herman went down. Pressured by Braden Stewart, who returned to the Pandas lineup after a lengthy layoff of her own last weekend in Regina. Good to have her back, the excellent first-year defenseman. And now a shot from deep, well wide of the net. That one coming from Gottslig. And the Pandas able to force the puck loose. And now here is Stewart. Stretch pass there to Keyser. Pandas are at the end of his shift. They're changing. Captain Keyser into the corner. Passes it back there to Ryan Parrott. Lost the puck, and the Huskies able to clear it. Now it's a race to avoid icing. And that's, oh man, I would have a big gripe there if I'm the Huskies. That was a very premature whistle by the linesman. It sure looked like the Huskies were going to win that race. And that's a break for Alberta early on.
Yeah, and early on, this offensive penetration by the Pandas has looked really good so far. 2 shots, but Carruthers just missing barely there earlier. She's got a wicked wrister.
Get her some screens in front, and it's going to be very difficult for Jucha in net for the Huskies. Does have a .939 save percentage, sparkling, making her 8th appearance. Not their #1 goalie. We'll see her likely tomorrow, Colby Wilson, as players collide off the puck. But Jucha has been excellent when she's been called upon, and a belated penalty there is called by the back referee, and that'll give us time to introduce you to our officiating crew, and Michelle Gariepi and Haley Butts are the referees, and Maya Fredrickson and Andrea Sanderson are the lineswomen. And it will be a power play now for Saskatchewan, their first of the evening, as Riley Smith heads to the box for 2. Early opportunity for the Huskies, still looking for their first shot against a Pandas penalty kill that has struggled a bit as of late. Early in the year, it was the power play. Power play has righted itself as of late. And the penalty kill, though, is down to 75%, 9th out of 9 teams in Canada West right now. Coach Draper emphasizing he wants to see a little bit more on that first layer of the penalty kills defense here. So trying to prevent these early entries, and then getting some bodies in front to block shots. And body didn't get in there. Dojon had it, and that's another quick whistle. That puck was very much still loose, and the referees blew it dead. They're real quick with these whistles so far today.
Yeah, what a save by Dojon, though. Up front, just easy for her. That's one of the best goalies in Canada West, folks, right there.
Yeah, Kenzie Dojon, who came into last year as the #3 goalie, is, I would argue, now made herself 1A of a 1B tandem with Grace Glover. She's her 3 shutouts, ranked 3rd in the conference right now. As that was a good shot block there by Haley Craig to prevent that one. Coach Draper will like that. But the Huskies come back the other way. Here they quickly come into the zone. It's Gottslig, and loose puck there. It's forced to retreat, and it's Lexon now with it. And sharp angle shot saved by Dojon, picked up by Annie King, who pins it up against the boards. Power play halfway over for the Huskies. They have 2 shots so far. Dojon equal to the task both times. And that pass picked off by Rosari, and Haley Craig will launch it to the length of the ice. That's something we didn't see all that often near the end of the first half of the year. The Pandas would get hemmed in for sometimes the entire power play. That's a couple clearances now we've seen on this penalty kill.
Yeah, it looks a lot better this time around. They definitely were struggling with those clears earlier on.
And a loose puck there, and Keyser might have something up the left wing, shorthanded. Does not have numbers, and is just going to be in a battle here. Get some help from Reagan Udall. And this will kill off some valuable time nonetheless. Puck's net forced again behind the Huskies net, where Zukoskis tries to play it, finally settles the puck down. But with 3 seconds left, the Pandas are going to get the kill on their first time here. 2 shots for the Huskies. Nothing past Mackenzie Dojon. We're even on shots, 2-2, and we're even on the score, 0-0. 6 minutes into this one, Morden right after the kill. Loose puck finds Udall, and she goes in between. She stays out on the ice after finishing off that penalty kill. Morden tumbled to the ground, and the puck picked up. Nearly stolen by Ryan Parrott right in front of the Huskies net. Very dangerous play there, and it's chaos. And the Huskies finally able to force the puck out to center ice. Not before nearly committing a couple of calamitous mistakes, but here's a shot follow-up by the Huskies. I don't think either of those got through. A couple of nice shot blocks there. Haley Craig and Braden Stewart amongst the Panda bodies in front of that one. But right back come the Huskies. And this game's a little chippy, a little choppy right now. Pandas get it out, but not into the offensive zone. Back come the Huskies. That puck will clear the zone on its own as Herman retreats with it. Huskies will reset. Pandas are throwing out a new set of bodies. Carruthers, Janae Williams, and Kelly Stanford, the three forwards. Here is Janae Williams. Around the M boards it goes, pursued by Carruthers. In a battle, Janae Williams helps out. In a battle with Juliana Herman of Saskatchewan. Kelly Stanford trying to get it back to the blue line, cannot. Huskies back in control of it, but still struggling to exit their zone from time to time. They get it up their right wing, but it's going to be too far, and Black is going to settle that one before it got to an icing potentially. And the Pandas now able to work it back out to center ice. They're changing out their blue line right now. Back comes Saskatchewan. Nice little give and go there, but it's picked off, and now Rosari trying to slap it clear. Can't. The Huskies play it high off the glass and are able to win possession of the puck momentarily, but back to Black for the Pandas, who will settle it and find Riley Smith trying to exit out on the left wing. Now it's the Pandas who are struggling a little bit to exit their zone. They do this time. Udall able to get it deep, which allows the Pandas to get a change going. Abby Bordetti, good pressure there, but not quite enough, and out skates McKenna Bolger of Saskatchewan. She'll wrist it around. Huskies are changing. Now Sarah Cazell with it. Finds Abby Soiko for the Pandas. Up to Keyser on the left wing. Tried to go up and around the Husky defender and couldn't quite get it there, but the puck stays in. Momentarily anyways. Boucher of Saskatchewan able to force it out to center ice. Pandas haven't had a shot on goal in the last 4 minutes. 2 shots apiece, no goals apiece. 9 minutes into this one. Riley said it would probably be low scoring, and it's playing out like that in the first half of the first period. Both the Husky shots coming on the power play, and that one won't count. It was offside, so we'll come back to center ice here and take a chance to breathe. It's been a wide open game, but not really a lot of sustained offensive zone time for either team.
No, both teams are getting some penetration, but there's really not a lot of able to set up shop and look for a good pass. It's been kind of puck bouncing everywhere, very choppy start so far, but expected with these two bitter rivals.
And the Huskies would like nothing better than to get a win. They're on a 7-game losing streak right now to the Pandas. Pandas won both games last year by identical 3-0 scores. That's going to be an icing. We'll come back and do it all over again in the Huskies offensive zone. Pandas are also on a 7-game point streak, 5 wins and 2 shootout losses in their last 7, which started with an upset over #1 nationally ranked UBC. And it's funny how the Pandas season wasn't going too well, and you get that one win, and it's been the tale of 2 halves of the first half. And here we are with the Pandas in pole position to host a quarterfinal matchup. Still a lot of work to be done to that point, but they've done good work to get back in it. As Jaden Morden plays that off the sideboards in a race for it. It's going to be controlled by the Huskies and Jayana Nurani, who's able to force it around the boards where it's picked off by Black, who will throw it right back behind the Husky net. Morden almost able to get that puck, but not in the end, and out skates the Huskies, who play it off their own player, but able to eventually get it out. And Sarah Kendall of Saskatchewan stood up nicely by Kelly Stanford on that. And now a nice little pass by Carruthers finds Stanford. Pandas force the puck into the zone. They're changing out the blue line. We'll have to wait to complete that change. Riley Smith was halfway off, and now here come the Huskies. And it is Smith having to play the puck around for Carruthers. Handled by Bolger into the skates of Chase Melnick, the second-year defender who's played every game of her career, off in on the top pairing. An excellent defenseman, and outskates Carruthers now at the end of his shift. Will she go at it? She makes a couple of moves. You can tell she doesn't really have the legs, but she does a good job to hold that one up and allow the Pandas to try to set something up as she'll go off for a well-deserved break. Pandas now 7 minutes without a shot on goal. Sask hasn't had an even strength shot all night. 9 minutes to play in the first period. 0-0 our score. 2 shots apiece. No shots for either team since the end of that Sask power play. Both Alberta shots came early on. And that one comes out to center ice, but stolen right back by Abby Bordetti. He throws it in. Alberta will throw out the top line, trying to take advantage of this offensive zone. Sask throws it right back out to center ice, where it is picked up, though, by the Pandas. Now here comes Soiko with it. Lost it for a moment, tried to hand it off to Sarah Cazell. It's chopped out of there, where it's going to be run down, though, by Holly Magnus, who is second in the all of Canada West in assists. And she is also, like Chase Melnick, a second-year player, has really flourished as a battle between Bolger and Kieser right on the blue line, won by the Pandas captain. Here's Kieser, tried to center to Magnus. It was knocked away at the last second by Gottslig. He was able to get it out of there. Nice pass by Boucher, and outskate the Huskies. 3-on-3 they come. Weisner stood up nicely, though, by Alexandra Black. And the Pandas get it in, and Riley Smith does just enough to avoid the icing there, and the Pandas will get a fresh set of bodies onto the ice. Haley Craig in a battle for it, right in front of the Sask bench, 2-on-2. Craig knocked to the ice, still fighting for it, and I'm not sure if it was her who was able to knock it free or Jaden Morden, but either way, good effort by Haley Craig to stay alive even when she was down on the seat of her pants. As Braden Stewart gets it back to the blue line to Annie King. Thought about the slap shot. Hands off the Parrott. One-timer with Stewart. Couldn't connect. The idea was right. Just couldn't quite find that connection. Parrott thought about going for a skate. Was knocked off her stick. Picked up by Stewart, who's being very lively right now. And she gets a shot in. That ends a long drought for shots on net for the Pandas. It's well sticked aside by Jucha, though. And back comes Alexin and the Huskies. That one not on net. It's wide of the center of the goal, so Huskies remain without an even strength shot. 13 minutes into this one. Both their shots coming on their lone power play. And out comes Alberta. Kelly Stanford, as Carruthers able to hold herself on side. Janae Williams in a tussle wins the puck back for the Pandas. Pinned up into the corner with Carruthers and two Huskies for company. Carruthers centered that, and I'm not sure Stanford was quite ready for it. Right idea by Haley Carruthers, who's had a good playmaking streak today. And here's Rosari with it. She'll slap that one and nearly found the bottom of the net. Trying to go glove side, and I think Jucha saw that late. Cazell with it, trying to stick handle between two Huskies, and just lost it at the last second. Couple of good looks for the Pandas there. Now the Huskies back the other way at they're changing. That shot wide of the net. Cazell now able to get it back out, and Rosari, who just had that last look, whacks it in deep and goes off for a change. Top line out for the Pandas. They're on their way out anyways. Soiko unable to make a play on that, or as is Bordetti. And it will be kind of a hybrid line. And now the Pandas able to complete that change as Soiko skates up the right wing and puts a lot of venom on that. But it's handled well by Jucha behind her own net, but pass only finds Alberta, and now Annie King with it across. Shot from deep, didn't get through, might have hit a Panda in front. That would have been Abby Soiko. Now Kieser in a battle for it in the right corner. Back to Soiko. Watched by Zukowski, gets it away to Kieser, who shoots, and that one saved by Jucha. And the Pandas are getting closer still. Kieser with another shot, that one blocked in front, I think, by Sarah Kendall. Yep, and then Kendall makes a play and gets the puck out to center ice and then finds Weisner. Now here come the Huskies. And a first shot on goal that's not on a power play for Saskatchewan. And there's that transition that Coach Draper warned about. And that would have been against the run of play, but Mackenzie Dojon stood it up, and we're still scoreless. In skates Parrott. Off to Craig. A little bit more pep in the step for these Pandas on the offensive zone in the last few minutes. 4.5 minutes to go in period one. Craig played it around the boards, no one home. Parrott will belatedly try to run it down. Flanagan, though, for the Huskies, is able to marshal it out to center ice. That one wristed in deep. They say it had the red line, so the Panda's going to have to try to play it out. It's held in momentarily. Now Ryan Parrott will try to get it out. Does enough to get it out to neutral zone, but it's picked off and thrown right back in by Herman as Saskatchewan changes it up. Long pass to Janae Williams, tipped out to center ice. Right back, though, and thrown right back in by Herman again. Rinse and repeat. That pass is going to go towards the side of the net where Dojon will cover it up, and another lengthy stretch of play without a whistle. Pandas had a couple of good looks, but still got to be wary of that Sask counter.
Yeah, this is a game right now that is for the hockey purist. Not a lot of penalties. It's just utter domination in the zone right now, especially for the Pandas. They've been setting up shop down there, and these Huskies have got to be pretty tired and fed up, to be honest.
Still been playing discipline, but yep, you wonder how long that can last. That one's covered up, not a shot. Dojon, though, will reset things here with 3:46 to play in period one. 0-0 our score.
Dojon's got to be pretty bored.
Yeah, she's, after that stretch pass on the power play, she had that one breakaway, and the rest of that time, she's probably could have played at her own blue line for the majority of the game. Riley Smith in a battle with it, had it, lost it. Now in a battle in the corner with Lexic. Still there for the taking. And eventually Riley Smith able to get it up the boards, but not out. And it comes right back in where Abby Bordetti forces the issue into the corner, separates player from puck, and now Alberta will try to exit again. As Black reverses, now finds Udall. Tried to go off the boards, couldn't. That shot/pass didn't get through, is handled by Riley Smith. Pandas finally get it out. Now here's Udall. She'll chip it in and chase. Pandas are changing. Trying to set up shop here. It's been whichever team can establish that forecheck. They've done a pretty good job on hemming each other into their own zones once they're set up. Pandas retreat with the puck. Find Carruthers up the right wing. She's been lively so far in this one. And now skating in here, Stanford, that shot sticked aside by Jucha. And that stretch pass just away from Weisner, and Dojon forced to cover up, but you saw the intent there. And it's making Coach Draper look very smart, because it seems like the only Sask opportunities we're seeing are breakouts like that. That's 2 in a row. That one just a little off the mark with the pass. Yeah, no, it's working so far, and once again, Stanford coming in there, good luck. But Jucha with that stick, putting it aside. Face-off controlled by the Huskies to Gottselig. She'll think about the shot. As opted for the pass instead. Huskies trying to play it up their left wing. They've overloaded that side with 4 skaters. And they turn it over, and now Keyser heads up their Alberta right, Sask left. In a battle, can't quite hold on to the puck. Does force the issue into the zone, though. As Soiko wins that puck back right at the blue line, throws it in. Alberta will change. Soiko will go at it alone for a moment and hand it off to Haley Craig. Soiko, the last skater that needs to get off the ice. Now she does, replaced by Ryan Parrott, and now Sask trying to head up there. Left wing cannot. It's picked off, and here's Jaden Morden, who's been quite quiet, and she's going to force a cover up there by Jucha. We haven't talked really much about Jaden Morden, but she ended the 2025 portion of the season on a heater with 4 goals in her last 3 games. But they need her to get going here in 2026 again. Absolutely. She's one of their offensive catalysts, and she was bearing down on Jucha there, full head of steam, and you don't want to see that coming. Jaden Morden, who ranks 4th in Canada West with 66 shots on the season. Never afraid. And just couldn't quite handle that one, otherwise it would have been an opportunity. Now here's Kendall back for the Huskies. She's tripped up, and Alberta's going to go on the PK one more time. Just an inadvertent stick into the skates, but it is indeed the correct call, and we'll see the guilty party here in a second. I think it's Morden. You are right, and that is the other side. Well, we'll see. She's heading to the bench. They're trying to figure it out. Nobody's in the box. It's because we're at the end of the period, so Morden's probably headed to the locker room if you're correct. Yeah. Scores tables, trying to figure it out as well. And Haley Craig coming out belatedly, so maybe it's her that's headed to the box. Just having a conversation with one of the officials. A lot to sort out here. Not sure exactly what the issue is. As we take a look here, what is the penalty, and that is, yeah, that's definitely Morden's penalty. They're going to put Craig in the box, but that's not correct. And that's kind of a loss for the Pandas because Haley Craig, one of their better penalty killers there. So a double blow, if you will, for the Pandas. But if you saw that last replay, that was clearly Jaden Morden's stick into the skates of the Husky. And it is Craig in the box. And the Pandas will have to try to get a second kill here in period number one that will eke into the second period, and they get an early clear. So again, continuing that early pattern of getting the puck out and getting fresh bodies on early. Haley Craig's 6th penalty she's been called this year for 12 penalty minutes now. Doesn't take a lot of them. And a good idea there, just couldn't quite make the connection. Looking for Kendall, who drew that penalty. Pandas playing with fire right in front of their own crease, struggling to get it out. Chase Melnick turns that puck over, but Sarah Cazell able to win it back. But she's pressured by 3 Huskies. Now Melnick able to get it out, Rosari, but stolen away from her. And the Huskies now will shoot from the other side from Cadu. And it's saved by Dojan, and then off the glass, and then off the head of Rosari and down the ice, just like he drew it up. 15 seconds left in the period, 45 left in the penalty, and a shot there shorthanded from Udall. Pandas are doing a good job killing off the last little bit of this penalty before we head to intermission. Huskies have one last chance at an entry. They got 4 seconds to try to get something off here. Boucher with it. It's sticked away, and that's going to be it. And that's a pretty accurate summary of how most of the first period has been. Low shot, low major events, but you called it in the pregame, no score, 12 total shots. Riley, your thoughts on period number 1?
Yeah, no surprise there. Both these teams are doing the little things very well right now. Both are playing really well on the forecheck, pinching up. Once they set up shop in either zone, they're dominating. So it's just a matter of, you know, getting more shots on net, catching one of these goalies off, because they've both looked really great so far.
Both playing maybe not to lose right now, but you wonder if, you know, there's a goal in this game, whichever way it goes, it could obviously open things up quite a bit, and I'm sure that's something both coaches will have in mind heading into the locker room. So our score after 1 period of play, 0-0. Alberta's killed off 1 penalty and are 3/4 of the way through a second penalty kill as we head into the intermission. We'll be back in about 12 or 13 minutes or so for period number 2 between the Pandas and Huskies. Again, 0-0 after 1 as you watch Pandas hockey on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel and on CBC.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step. Get the most, not the little. Straight terror.
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold A, in recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last group of female athletes to have finally caught up and received what we rightfully earned. The Block A is a symbol of camaraderie, excellence, and outstanding contributions to the University of Alberta. I don't really need a sweater to remember that, but wow, am I proud that I got one today.
The legacy of these athletes is about more than just breaking records. Their pioneering spirit and the bonds they formed have left a lasting impact, not just on the field, but in their lives and future generations.
We felt like we as a group could move together and do anything and be anything that we wanted to be. We felt no barriers when we were together, and I think it was a very important lesson that I've taken forward. Doesn't matter what anybody's telling you or saying to you, you can do whatever you want.
So for us to be able to give back to sport, I think a lot of us are here because it meant something then and it still means something now.
And I think then that I passed on some really good lessons to another generation of girls, because I coached girls, that then they'll carry on in their life and maybe take on later on and pass on to more girls. So I'd say that it creates a legacy that I think is something that we should all be really proud of.
For many of these women, being a panda means more than just competing in sports. It means belonging to a family bound by shared experiences, where the friendships formed decades ago still feel as strong today.
I can see Carrie, who I haven't seen in 38 years, and I feel like I saw you yesterday. And I think that's the power of being a panda, is where you go, what you do, you can always come back to that, and it's a great groundbreaking message that, hey, we're in this together and we did this.
This friendship has been happening since the 80s, and we still spend time together, and we enjoy each other and we love each other. And so it's friendships that are forged for life.
These women's contributions extend far beyond the playing field. They laid the foundation for future generations, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and open doors for others.
When you started, built, or you advanced your sport, you were creating a legacy. You opened doors, you broke barriers for hundreds of athletes after you, and you weren't just doing what you loved for yourself, you were changing the world for hundreds of people that you didn't even know. So friends, thank you for being part of this program. I just want to ask if you could raise a glass to us. 40 years, not 30 years.
an exceptional community. It sets you apart.
Like the number of laughs I've had with this group, the number of laughs I've had with guys that have graduated and moved on from our program, like those are all it's the characters, right?
I'm really lucky to have that support team around me, and we all are, and it's great to be able to push each other and support each other to higher heights.
It's a great feeling to get that championship, but I think it's just an even better feeling that we get it here at home, right here at the U of A.
10 years from now, I hope I'm still wearing the same sweater, sitting in the same bleachers, cheering whatever team is on the field in green and gold.
Abby Soy, go, she scores!
Want to know the recipe for a great time? Green, gold, and Sherlock Holmes. It's the place to be before, during, and after the game, and it's right on campus. We continue to be a proud sponsor of Golden Bears and Pandas Athletics. Everyone has a Sherlock story. What's yours?
University of Alberta Athletics would like to thank the Students' Union and its Legacy Fund dedicated to the Golden Bears and Pandas for the continued support of our program.
To Harp, Carey. She's going to try for her 8th three-pointer of the game, and she hits it. The bench erupts. Good hustle from Trinity once again to keep it alive. Read and weave.
Wow, what a play from the Bears there.
Moves up in the rush with them. Here's Blue, drop back. Adam Hall scores. Adam Hall, step one.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stick. Underground methods, top-notch hoes, get the most, not the little. Straight terror.
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold.
And welcome back inside Clare Drake Arena on a frigid Edmonton evening as we welcome you back for period number 2 between the Alberta Pandas and the Saskatchewan Huskies. 0-0 our score after one period of play. Riley, as we take a look at some of those highlights, a relatively low shot affair, but both teams, as you said, playing things conservatively, but also doing all the little things right.
Yeah, definitely. Both these teams are very well disciplined. That's showing early on here. But, you know, it'd be nice to see some offense in the second period. Maybe the Pandas come out here and draw a penalty, get that power play going, because the Pandas power play is, as we've seen over the progression of the season, it's went from one of the worst to middle of the pack to kind of one of the best now. Yep. They've been rolling. So it'd be nice to see the Pandas get on there and get back on track. But yeah, it's been a low scoring affair to say the least. 7
shots for the Pandas, 5 for the Huskies. Just 2 of those Husky shots came at even strength. Both of them came on breakaways. So it's really been transition or power plays, and we do have 31 seconds left of a Husky power play. The Pandas PKs look pretty good. It came in as kind of a sore spot, ranked at the bottom of Canada West, but through 1 3/4 of a penalty kill so far, it's looked pretty good today.
Yeah, Draper's got to be pretty pleased with how his team's playing tonight on the PK. And And, you know, this penalty kill has been a tough watch at times for the Pandas this year, so it's good to see them righting the ship this early on after the break.
And we're taking a look at those standings right now. And again, this is coming into today. We can report that Trinity Western has lost to UBC today. So Alberta, with this game being one of them, has 3 games in hand of Trinity Western and just 1 point behind. Again, second place hosts a quarterfinal and also would avoid UBC on their side of the bracket. So it's a big one here. And then on the other side for Saskatchewan, they're right there in the playoffs themselves in a tie with Manitoba for that final playoff spot. Manitoba currently tied with McEwen 2-2 late in the third. And Regina right behind them as well. So on the east side of things, it's a big one, but both these teams would love to pick up 2 points here, whichever way it goes. And we have 31 seconds of the Haley Craig, definitely not Jaden Morden minor, as the Pandas able to force it out to center ice here, trying to kill off the last bit of that Craig minor. And they have 16 more seconds to do so, and they'll throw it right back down, and that'll just about do it. I think we've seen more clearances in the first 2 PKs at home this year than we saw in the last few games combined. So a very positive sign here. Coach Draper wanted to see better control of that, as well as better shot blocking by his skaters. And the penalty is officially over, so the Pandas 2 for 2 on the PK today. Just 1 shot on that power play for the Huskies after they had 2 on their first one. And here is Craig out of the box with Ryan Parrott, who skates it behind the net into the corner. Back to Craig, who's pinned up against the glass by Zukoski. Zukoski forces it loose. Riley Smith skating all the way up, trying to force that into the corner. It's picked off, though, and out skates Saskatchewan down their left side. Alexin. And that pass mishandled, and that forces an offside as Vertinen couldn't quite handle it and will come back out to neutral ice. Scores from around the rest of Canada West women's side of hockey. We reported UBC beating Trinity Western. That was by 4-2. That was at UBC. They'll play at Trinity tomorrow. McEwen and Manitoba tied up 2-2 with 4:30 to go. And Regina and Mount Royal all square 1-1 after 1 period of play. On the men's side of things for the Golden Bears, they're in Saskatchewan right now. And it is 5-4 Saskatchewan after 2 periods of play. And that's going to be a save for Dojon, one of the easier ones she'll make. That was just a little lofted one there, but it'll count nonetheless, as our first shot of the period goes to the Huskies. Keyser will take the face-off for the Pandas, posed by Shelby Williamson. That one kept out. Another shot saved by Dojon. We're up even to 7-7 on the shots now. And the Huskies are making a bit more noise on 5-on-5 than they did in the first period. Keyser gets just blasted to the ice. I think the initial tie-up by Williamson is okay, but the follow-through was not. And Keyser, she's tough, but she's taking a minute to get back to her feet there. But she earned that penalty. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that was no flop, ladies and gentlemen. That was a fall from a high place right there. Ouch. When's
WrestleMania again? Because that's kind of what that looked like. Regardless, it'll be the first power play of the day for Alberta. A power play that's up to 10.6%, but just about a few games before the break, they were below 6%. So it's been a much improved power play for Alberta. And they'll take an early shot there, and that deflected off of a couple sticks. Didn't get in eventually, but 2 deflections there. And then Carruthers is knocked away from her stick from behind. She had an open net there, and I think that was saved at the last second by Narani. So 2 very close calls. Not going to be official shots, but 2 great looks for the Pandas in the first 30 seconds of this power play. And they keep the puck in the zone. Cazell does just enough to keep it in, and now Morden back to Parrott. Second power play unit out really for the Pandas right now, as the top line drew that penalty at the end of a long shift. Here's Haley Carruthers off the end boards, pursued by Morden. Alberta's going to start changing it up. Out comes a couple of those top power play unit members, including Abby Soiko, Pandas' leading goal scorer. And the Pandas will complete their change here halfway through the power play. No shots officially, but a couple of very close shaves. And the Huskies unable to get it out. The entire sequence of this power play is played out in the Pandas offensive zone. And that will change right there as Saskatchewan launches it the length of the ice, and a very tired unit on the penalty kill gets a well-deserved break. 30 seconds to go for Alberta. Up the left wing they come with Keyser. Puts on the brakes, and a wicked deflection off the end boards. Jucha, I don't think, had any idea what happened there, but it bounced off her pads, and that might have saved a goal. It's not Keyser's intent, but it almost caused a goal. Keyser, who scored the overtime winner against Regina in the first game back after the winter break, nearly got Lady Luck on her side there. 3 seconds left in the power play. Riley Smith with it, who has a couple power play goals this year. And here is Soiko. Penalty is over. Pandas still controlling the puck in their zone, though. And there's a loose stick right in front of the crease. It was actually Jucha's stick. She picks it back up. And Alberta continuing to maintain the zone. And they're changing out a couple of their skaters. Puck tied up by the Huskies, who would love to hear a whistle, I'm sure, as now this group's been out here in their defensive zone for about a minute. And the ref's letting this one go, and finally the Huskies able to work it out. And Bolger skates it out, and we got a 3-on-2 for the Huskies back the other way. How much juice does this line have left? Enough to get a shot that's saved by Dojan in. And they'll get a breather there. And again, it's that transition game for the Huskies. But no shots on that power play, but that doesn't really tell the tale of what we just saw from Alberta's power play unit, especially in that first half.
Oh yeah, no, lots of high risk shots there that were in the net vicinity. I'd love to see a replay on that Keyser deflection off the boards, man. That almost went in, and if I were the goalie, I would be pretty mad about that one.
Yeah. Yes. Clare Drake's end boards, it wouldn't be the first time they flummoxed an opposition player. They're notoriously difficult to read, especially if you don't play on them all that often. Puck tied up in the corner. The Huskies able to win it, though, and that shot didn't miss by much. Wide of Dojan's net on her blocker's side. Came from Alexin. Pandas still looking for their first shot of the period. Braden Stewart struggling to get it around a couple of Huskies. Get some help now from Reagan Udall, who has it knocked off her stick. Back to Stewart. And now the Pandas are the ones struggling to get out. Abby Bordetti plays it off the boards to herself. Pandas reset. And a long pass there, tipped out to center ice. And is that gonna, nope, the deflection is not gonna be on net. So it will come all the way back, and the Pandas, with the tired line, will have to guard against an offensive zone draw. As we take a look at that wicked deflection, that was almost the first goal of the game. Wow. I don't think Jucha knew anything about that.
Yeah, that was a little friendly fire there by number 6 standing in front of Juch there.
From Zukotsky there is Sarah Kendall tried to wind up for that one. Second opportunity, it doesn't get through. It's knocked away by Annie King. Again, this line for the Pandas has been out here for a while and struggled to get the puck out of the zone. Reagan Udall does just enough to force it to center ice. And the Huskies throw it right back in. Pandas able to get a couple of new skaters on, well, one. And that shot from distance, gloved by Dojan, and that will be a welcome sight as now the Pandas can complete that change as Dojan picks up her 8th save, and for the first time tonight, the Huskies lead the shot department, now 8-7.
Yeah, what a glove save by Dojan there. And the Pandas are struggling early on here to, you know, get out on transition and get out of their zone. But good thing they got Mackenzie Dojan in the back there holding down that fort.
Dojan coming into this one with a 5-1-1 record, a 161 goals allowed, and a save percentage of .929. That's going to be another icing. We'll come back and do it again. So the first period, we were tilted to our left in favor of Alberta. This period, we're tilted to our left in favor of Saskatchewan. We're going to have to see a chiropractor if this pattern continues to hold. Jaden Morden will take the draw for the Pandas, opposed by Shelby Williamson. 50-50 face-off, knocked back to Chase Melnick. finds Craig, and the Pandas able to get it out to center ice. And a nice little bounce there finds Ryan Parrott, who holds play up nicely, goes for a skate, back to the blue line. Cazelle's shot through, that deflected, didn't miss by much. Back under the stick of Parrott. And now Craig into the corner, hands it back to Parrott. And she's held up along the end boards, wriggles free, and comes back with the puck with some help from Jaden Morden. And Morden has it now and goes around a couple of Huskies, settles the puck back down, will fire from deep right into the skates of Williamson. Craig tied up, Pandas changing the defensive line out, taking advantage of this sustained offensive zone time. Still looking for their first shot of the period. They've had a couple of very close calls off deflections and nothing official though, as Morden now from her knees tried to get that pass off, couldn't, and then chopped at it, and might have been lucky that she didn't knock Alexiak to the ice, and then the Huskies are offside there. It's been a very choppy first 7 minutes or so of this period. 12:54 to go in period 2. Just the 2 shots for the Huskies, none for the Pandas so far. It's kind of like how the first period started, just in reverse.
Yeah, it seems like both these teams are still trying to find their footing here. But yeah, still just looking for any kind of spark from the Pandas.
Face off controlled by the Huskies. They get it in, not very deep though. Picked off, and now Riley Smith, nice pass, finds Janae Williams up the right wing. Carruthers shot into the skates. Pandas are going to be going back on the power play here momentarily, as I think Carruthers drew the penalty, and that nice little feed nearly found Stanford. Pandas delayed power play. That shot just wide, and it's still not touched by Sask. So a long delayed penalty here. Pandas have the net empty, trying to take advantage of it. That one in on net, saved by Jucha. First shot of the period for the Pandas. Riley Smith finds Magnus. She fires from deep. That one's just wide. This is quite the sequence for the Pandas. Everything but a goal so far. Back to Stanford, who was wrong-footed by it, and that'll allow Sask to touch it. And the Pandas will go back on the power play. They have 8 shots now. They're belated putting it up onto the scoreboard. But it will be a power play for the Pandas, their second of the evening, and a chance to once again draw first blood here.
Yeah, some domination right here from the Pandas, and Janae Williams down in the post, right in front of the goalie, just up on the block. I was watching her box at a couple of players down there, just trying to get anything to screen that goalie.
You love seeing that from your bottom 6 players. Williams plays a lot down on that 4th line, a couple assists on the year, transfer from Lakeland College, and it might not show up necessarily on the stat sheet, but it's going to be a big one if the Pandas can cash in here. It was Kendra Zukotsky, by the way, who committed that penalty. She's another of the Huskies that have struggled on the penalty box, now with 22 penalty minutes on the year. As Keyser fires, and that's saved. No, it's not. It off of a leg in front. Pandas still looking for their first shot on a power play there. They'll get it right there from Soiko. Another chance. Pandas are playing their entire line is inside the faceoff circle. That one deflects in, and Jucha somehow handles it and covers it. There's a lot of traffic. We've been calling for that in the early part of the year, more traffic in front of the net for the Pandas on the power play, and they had a lot there, and Jucha saw that last one very late.
Yeah, just persistent traffic up front. What a feed over to Magnus. Oh yeah, that was a good look right there.
Holly Magnus, who's one of the best passers in the league, tried to turn goal scorer there, nearly did. 30 seconds gone on the power play. Pandas have 2 shots on it. Now Soiko fires, and that deflected off a stick and whistled just high of the post. Soiko, by her own very lofty standards, is in a little bit of a drought. Love to see her get going here with the power play. As Magnus will fire, and that one's wide, and then a big check there on Keyser, who was trying to crash the net and nothing called. That looked like a very obvious cross check right in front of the goal. Keyser went flying near those end boards, and no hand goes up, and the Pandas will change out the power play unit. Here's Morden in for the Pandas, powering into the net, and she puts that one in on net, and it's saved by Jucha. Really good stick handling by Morden, who's been far more active in this period than the first. And another shot for Morden, follow up by Carruthers is wide. Best sequence offensively of the game for the Pandas. Here's Morden. She'll fire from deep, and it's safe. That one more of the easy variety for Jucha. That's 5 saves now she's had to make in the last 2 minutes after the Pandas didn't get a single shot in the first 7.
I love it. These Pandas are just all up in Jucha's kitchen right now, just firing low and short, and they're getting right in on her pads there. I think that's a better strategy than shooting from long range. And Keyser with the Bobby Orr splay out. Wow.
30 seconds left on the power play, now down to 22 seconds, and that one-timer from deep from Cazell didn't get through. Sask unable to clear it. Back to the stick of Parrott now with 13 seconds to go. And Parrott fires. That might have hit her own player Morden in front of the net, but the Pandas continue to control the puck. 5 seconds left. Can the Pandas get one more look? Cazell from deep, that one into the skates of a Husky. And both teams are now 0 for 2. Well, it's not going to matter. Oh, they call icing, and Sask winning that race. That's the second time Sask has had a clear win of a race to icing, and the refs blow it dead. And I'd be real peeved. Okay, they're going to at least even that up and bring it back to a center ice face-off there. I was going to say, if I'm Sask bench, I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, head coach is having a conversation with the ref right now, but he was pretty fired up when that initial call was made.
And that was just out of the box. Zukowski clearly won that race. I mean, it was like a solid 10 feet in front of the closest Panda. Huskies control the face-off and will try to set things up from their own zone. Here comes Boucher, who's been relatively quiet so far for the Huskies. Has their leading scorer, who has 9 points on the year, 5 of them goals. Also leads the league in penalty minutes with 34. A lot of similarities to Jaden Morden in that she has a high shot volume, is potent offensively, and also has sometimes issues staying out of the box. That one is going to be icing in favor of the Huskies. We'll go back the other way. 9:09 to play in period 2. Still no score. 12-7 though. The last 5 shots coming in favor of Alberta.
Yeah, that power play is looking really good right now, and it's only a matter of time before we get something behind the net for the Pandas. But yeah, just Jucha standing on her head right now, and it's going to be a long game if she's still doing that.
Not quite Kate Williamson of Regina, who made 50 saves on 51 shots in game 1 of last weekend's series before allowing a overtime goal to Natalie Keyser. But most of those 12 saves, I'd say 7 or 8 of them have been pretty high quality shots. And as the Pandas get it in deep, Bordetti will pressure the puck and does enough to win it. And now Udall in possession around the boards. Melnick's going to pinch up and hand that puck off. Back to Udall, who somehow maintains possession under a lot of pressure, fires it. Cazell lost the puck there, had a real good look at it, and just was a little too ahead of herself. Did enough with the back check, though, to prevent what could have been a dangerous Sask break-in. And now the Pandas will have to try to force it out as Melnick's pass denied. She'll have a second chance at it. Pandas deflect that one into their own bench off the stick of Udall. And we will have a center ice face-off here with 8:14 to play in period 2, still scoreless. Both teams getting good news, though, from other conference results. We talked about how UBC beat Trinity Western. That's a big help for the Pandas. But McEwen comes from behind, down 2-1, and beats Manitoba, who's in a tie for Saskatchewan for the final playoff spot in the Canada West Eastern Division. So both these teams will like what they see from the other teams in action tonight. And we'll try to make it even more valuable by picking up at least a point or two. And the way this one's headed, we could easily see an overtime as Braden Stewart able to get that puck away from danger, and a nice little give and go. Stanford now to Janae Williams, who drew the penalty that led to that very effective power play, albeit without a goal just a couple minutes ago. And Janae Williams, probably her best couple shifts as a Panda that I can recall at least. She's had a very good second period. Matenko for Sask getting it in, bumped by Riley Smith. Janae Williams helping out there. Morani for Sask, and the Huskies come away with it, and they're just able to hold that puck in, but then Janae Williams forcing it right back out, and the Huskies are well offside, and then Narani and Morton collide after the fact. And you know, this one we talked about in the intermission. This was a very clean first period. The chippiness has started to edge towards what you would expect between these two fierce rivals.
Yeah, lots of frustration. You know, when pucks aren't finding the back of the net, you start getting a little antsy out there.
Face-off controlled by the Huskies. They'll get it in deep. Melnick plays the puck, loses it. Gets some help though from Morden. He gets it out, but only as far as Zukotsky. And the Huskies will throw it back deep. They've had a very effective forecheck. Again, both teams, whoever can set up that forecheck when they're set, they force both teams to really struggle to exit their zone. And that shot doesn't get through, but a follow-up attempt might, and Dojan nabs that one out of midair. There's a very good look that time coming from Braun and Boucher. Welcome there. That's the last person the Alberta wants to see with that opportunity, and Dojan bails out her defense.
Yeah, Boucher's been very quiet up to this point. I think that's probably her first shot of the game right there. High risk, though.
Pandas dodged that one. First shot on goal in a long time for the Huskies, and it was high quality. And that pass, nice pass there, finds Abby Soiko. Couldn't quite get it away. Had Keyser crashing to the back post, but good job that time by a couple of Huskies, including Juliana Herman, to deny what could have been a very dangerous break-in opportunity. Firing from deep that time, Braden Stewart, still in search of her first Panda goal. Didn't get through. Turned over though, and here's Soiko, and it's between her skates. Didn't know where it was. Somehow still has it. Backhander. Keyser's there. Chaos in front of the Husky net, and the Pandas will settle it back with Stewart at the blue line. Back to Keyser. Spins away from pressure and tried to find Magnus, who feigned on the one-timer, but the Pandas maintained possession of the puck. Keyser with it now in the left corner. Back to the blue line it comes to Black. Around to Smith. Smith from deep. That one deflects in. Didn't get in on net. Rosari follow-up might have. Yes, it did. Saved by Jucha. Now 13 saves for her, 6 in this period. 5 minutes and change to go in period 2. Still no score, and we're going to get a face-off here. Let's see if anything else comes of it. Just an offside. Everyone gets a chance to breathe. Pandas throw out the Bordetti line as Rosari gets tied up by Alexin on the face-off on the wing side of things. He gets dumped to the ice, gets right back up, and able to get just enough on that pass to force it out to center ice. Huskies, though, back in possession. Chief with it. And in skates the Huskies from their right side. Trying to get something away right now. They're able to set up. Chief's shot blocked by Rosari. Got her stick in the way there. And out skates the Pandas. Riley Smith takes a few bumps there, able to get it away to Udall, who has some speed around Chief. And that one almost picked out the far side of the net. Great break in by Udall. And she's denied by Jucha, who's been excellent. Melnick from deep. That deflects, didn't get all the way through. It was knocked down by Gottslig. Now Gottslig skates it out and gets it in deep. Dojan watches it go wide of the net. Melnick picks it up. Pandas try to exit. Kelly Stanford with it. Back pass. Finds Sarah Cazell. And the Pandas have a 3-on-2 momentarily. Huskies now back to 3-on-3. Stanford, and didn't get a lot on it, and Jucha had to pounce on that, but just for a second, Stanford wide open. Stanford, another one of those who's been pretty lively today as well. That Stanford Carruthers line has been noticeably effective, more so than usual.
Yeah, their noses have been all over the puck, and wow, look at this by Udall, just waltzing in, picking her spot, and that almost went in the back of the net.
Morden fires from deep, and Jucha with Ryan Parrott right in her grill, gloves it down. Both these goalies have been good. Dojan's had a lot less activity, but a lot of, I'd say out of the 23 combined shots, at least half of those, probably more, have been very dangerous opportunities. Pandas now up to 8 shots in the period with 4 minutes to go. Huskies able to exit the zone as here comes Sarah Kendall, cut off nicely by Braden Stewart. Bodies are up, bumps her off the puck, and Stewart's pass to clear the zone might be icing. We'll see here. No, it's not going to be. Stevens for the Huskies going to have to retreat all the way back and play the puck, harassed by Haley Craig. Does well to evade Craig's pressure, though. Huskies play keep away. And now we're going to be able to exit up their left side. Here is Stevens. Huskies just onside there. And now Holly Magnus with the puck on her stick, trying to get it out to center ice, looking for Soiko. Instead, it finds Zukoski, and back come the Huskies. And again, the Pandas standing up the Huskies as they enter the zone. As Magnus, really nice pass there, finds Soiko, is deflected away by Zukoski, forces Soiko wide. Soiko still had it for a moment. It comes now loose to Holly Magnus with 3 minutes to go in the period. Riley Smith with it. And that pass deflects off a couple of sticks and comes away to Saskatchewan. Huskies skated out here is Boucher, who just had a good look a moment ago, tried to shovel that for Weisner in front of the Pandas net. Just a little too much on that pass. You could see the intent, though. And now a tie-up behind the Pandas net. Huskies have it, and nice little passing sequence there, forces a save off of Dojan, and we're going to have another penalty. And let's see who they call that on. I think the Pandas are going to be shorthanded for the third time today, as it looks like it's Sarah Cazell heading to the box, and that is indeed the case. Which is a rarity. It's just her second penalty of the year, but it could be a costly one with 2:25 to go in period two, still scoreless.
Yeah, big spot right here if you're the Pandas. The last thing you want right now is for the Huskies to bury one right before intermission here.
Huskies had a good first power play. Second one, not quite as active. As Braden Stewart unable to make a play on that puck. Huskies still controlling it, but a loose pass there turns over. Now Udall one-on-one the other way. Pandas do have a couple shorthanded goals this year. Udall stood up, though. Still does well to kill some time off. And now the Pandas retreating. Here comes Williamson and the Huskies back on the attack on their third power play look of the day. That shot wide of the net. Sask back in control of it, though. Gottselig back from deep. That shot whistles wide. There was a lot of traffic in front of Dojan there. And the Huskies settle it back down. It's Bolger. Back to Gottselig. And her shot from deep blocked down by Udall. Coach Draper will like to see that. The Pandas bench applauding one of their senior players. That one deflects just wide of Dojan's net. Most sustained pressure we've seen by a Huskies power play today. And just as I say that, Keyser clears it the length of the ice, and the Pandas get a need a change. Halfway done on the penalty. 2 shots, make that 1 shot for the Huskies so far. Boucher retreats with the puck. Harassed by Craig. Really nice play on the puck there by Craig. Forces the Huskies to backtrack again. 40 seconds to go on the advantage. Cazell anxiously waiting as we enter our final minute of play in the period. There'll be a small difference if the Pandas kill this off of about 20 seconds of even strength play. Could do with it, gets it across. Patient are the Huskies, and that shot deflected wide. I think Riley Smith's stick had the last touch on it. 17 seconds to go on the power play. Rosari harassing the puck now. It's back to the blue line, though, and Vertinen, and that shot ripped, and that had a lot of venom on it from Zukoski, and Dojan able to save that. Not a lot of traffic, but that sure had a lot of speed, and Dojan equal to the task with their 10th save of the evening.
Yeah, that was a bullet.
Good passing sequence there that drew the penalty for the Huskies. Keyser will take this all-important face-off, trying to kill these last 9 seconds of this penalty off. Cazell's ready to come in. 2 seconds left on the penalty. Cazell's out of the box. The Pandas PK, 3 for 3 on the day. Huskies still have the puck, though, with 18 seconds to go, looking for a last gasp goal here in period 2 to break a scoreless deadlock. And Gottselig opts to give up the pass. Dojan saves that one off of Weisner. And that will do it as Keyser picks up the loose puck. Not going to have enough time to do anything with it. And we, just like we were at the start of the game and after one period of play, still scoreless. The shots ramped up a bit in that one, but still no goals. Riley, your thoughts on period number 2?
Man, if you thought period 2 was exciting, can't wait for period 3. We're gonna have, you know, a lot. I think it's gonna slow play us a little bit this third period, but just like the second period was. But you know, these two teams are very evenly matched. It feels like at this point. Once again, they're just doing everything right on the forecheck, and it's just going to come down to a bad bounce on the puck or something because these goalies are playing outstanding right now.
Yeah, both Jucha for Saskatchewan and Dojon for Alberta have had to be sharp. 15 shots for Alberta, 11 for Saskatchewan, none of them finding the back of the net. As after 2 periods of play, our score is 0-0. He's Riley Turgeon. I'm Patrick Erickson. Back in about 12-13 minutes for period number 3, as we are still scoreless between the Pandas and Huskies on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel, and on CBC.
In recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last group of female athletes to have finally be caught up and receive what we rightfully earned. The Block A is a symbol of camaraderie, excellence, and outstanding contributions to the University of Alberta. I don't really need a sweater to remember that, but wow, am I proud that I got one today.
The legacy of these athletes is about more than just breaking records. Their pioneering spirit and the bonds they formed have left a lasting impact, not just on the field, but in their lives and future generations.
We felt like we as a group could move together and do anything and be anything that we wanted to be. We felt no barriers when we were together, and I think it was a very important lesson that I've taken forward. Doesn't matter what anybody's telling you or saying to you, you can do whatever you want.
So for us to be able to give back to sport, I think a lot of us are here because it meant something then and it still means something now.
And I think then that I passed on some really good lessons to another generation of girls, because I coached girls, that then they'll carry on in their life and maybe take on later on and pass on to more girls. So I'd say that it creates a legacy that I think is something that we should all be really proud of.
For many of these women, being a panda means more than just competing in sports. It means belonging to a family bound by shared experiences, where the friendships formed decades ago still feel as strong today.
I can see Carrie, who I haven't seen in 38 years, and I feel like I saw you yesterday. And I think that's the power of being a panda, is where you go, what you do, you can always come back to that, and it's a great ground-breaking message that, hey, we're in this together and we did this.
This friendship has been happening since the 80s, and we still spend time together, and we enjoy each other and we love each other. And so it's friendships that are forged for life.
These women's contributions extend far beyond the playing field. They laid the foundation for future generations, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and open doors for others.
When you started, built, or you advanced your sport, you were creating a legacy. You opened doors, you broke barriers for hundreds of athletes after you, and you weren't just doing what you loved for yourself, you were changing the world for hundreds of people that you didn't even know. So friends, thank you for being part of this program. I just want to ask if you could raise a glass to us. 40 years, not 30 years.
It sets you apart.
Like the number of laughs I've had with this group, the number of laughs I've had with guys that have graduated and moved on from our program, like those are all it's the characters, right?
I'm really lucky to have that support team around me, and we all are, and it's great to be able to push each other and support each other to higher heights.
It's a great feeling to get that championship, but I think it's just an even better feeling that we get it here at home, right here at the U of A.
10 years from now, I hope I'm still wearing the same sweater, sitting in the same bleachers, cheering whatever team is on the field in green and gold.
Abby Soy, go, she
Want to know the recipe for a great time? Green, gold, and Sherlock Holmes. It's the place to be before, during, and after the game, and it's right on campus. We continue to be a proud sponsor of Golden Bears and Pandas Athletics. Everyone has a Sherlock story. What's yours?
University of Alberta Athletics would like to thank the Students' Union and its Legacy Fund dedicated to the Golden Bears and Pandas for the continued support of our program.
To Harp, Carey. She's going to try for her 8th three-pointer of the game, and she hits it. The bencher ups. Good hustle from Trinity once again to keep it alive. Read and weave.
Wow, what a play from the Bears there.
Moves up in the rush with them. Here's Blue, drop back. Adam Hall shot scores. Adam Hall, step 1-0. Deep to the man, wide open. Touchdown! Golden Bears. Colby Herford, wide open.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step. Underground, the thoughts, top-notch hoes, get the boys, not the lips. Straight to
Founded in 1932, the Block A Club was an honorary society of the University Athletics Board, created to recognize male student athletes. These athletes were awarded the iconic evergreen sweaters, each featuring a large gold A, in recognition of their leadership, sportsmanship, and outstanding contributions to intercollegiate sports. But it wasn't until 1989 that female varsity athletes received the same recognition. Therefore, in 2016, University of Alberta Athletics launched an initiative to honor Pandas alumni who played 3 or more seasons but never received a Block A sweater during their time of competition. This year, the final group of these athletes is finally being honored.
To paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. After 35 years, we are the last female athletes of 5 years.
And we welcome you back inside Clare Drake Arena, where the score after 2 periods of play between the Alberta Pandas and Saskatchewan Huskies is still 0-0. I'm Patrick Erickson, joined as always by Riley Turgeon. It was a second period that saw a bit more action than the first. 8 shots for the Pandas, 6 for the Huskies, but still no one beating the 2 goalies, Mackenzie Dojon for Alberta and Claire Jucha for Saskatchewan, who both have to be said have been excellent. The chances have been few and far between, but when they come, they've been high quality. But Riley, what are your thoughts? What's got to happen here for one of these teams to break through in period number 3?
Yeah, zone possession's been a huge proponent of this game so far, and it's just who's ever been able to control the offensive zone and just find some wacky bounce or something, because that's what the Pandas have been getting so far. And it's been a lot of traffic up front. The Pandas have been able to get in Jucha's face a little bit here. So I'd look for either Kelly Stanford or Reagan Udall. They've been in the mix. They've been kind of all over the puck tonight in terms of scoring chances. So I'd look for them to potentially have their fingerprints on the first goal tonight.
Yeah, been very active. Has Stanford, the second-year transfer from Nate, as well as Reagan Udall, one of the senior players on the team, or in her 5th year with the Pandas. I'm going to go ahead and say Haley Carruthers, who looked very good in that first period and has been more of the playmaker than the sniper that we've seen her on this year. But as we take a look at the games tomorrow, again, we'll be back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow for Saskatchewan, and that's a big one at the bottom of your screen between UBC and Trinity Western. But neither team can find a way through. Overtime looms, and I'm not sure that's something that the Pandas are necessarily looking forward to the way the season's played out.
Yeah, history has not been kind to the Pandas in overtime and shootouts this year, so they're probably hoping to escape with one here in this last period of play. 1
overtime win in 7 attempts. They've lost 4 shootouts and 2 overtime games. Their 1 overtime win, though, did come last weekend against Regina. It was 1-0 then, so maybe we would see something similar as we are ready to get back underway. Alberta in gold and green, Saskatchewan in black and green. Saskatchewan going left to right, Alberta therefore going right to left. And after a 5-second tie-up, we are back underway as Keyser tips that in and is held off nicely by Bolger. Holly Magnus up there to help out her captain, and she's bumped from behind by Williamson. And this puck still fought for. Now Keyser has it on her stick, and she'll spin in, and a little cross-crease pass there. Soiko a little bit out of her reach. And Alberta will change things up here. 30 seconds in. Coach Draper likes those quick shifts, keeps his skaters fresh. And now it'll be the Huskies applying some token pressure here, but the Pandas able to evade that. And here comes Jaden Morden, finds Ryan Parrott with speed. She'll take it between the circles and force the first save of the period. Leg save that time by Jucha, her 16th of the evening. The very good second-year goalie for the Huskies, as that shot right in front of the net is deflected off of Jacqueline Sheaf's stick and high into the net. And a little slow to get to her feet there. Trying to screen and see who that is. That's Ryan Parrott, and she is okay. She'll head off for a line change, but a little bit of a scary collision there, as you see it right there.
Ouch.
Big. I don't think there's anything in that, but just one of those quick change of directions, and Parrott paid the price. Huskies will try to exit. They have space up their right wing, and they're able to. Nope, they can't quite get it out. It's held in right at the last second by Bordetti, but she's bumped by Weisner, and the Huskies now will get it out, and they'll throw it in, where it's settled by Dojan, and now she's nearly turned that over, did just enough to force it into the corner for Riley Smith to deal with, who in turn gets it away there. Dojan usually probably the best of the 3 Pandas goalies in terms of stick handling, puck playing with fire a little bit there, but no harm, no foul. Pandas get it in, but the Huskies come right back the other way. And Boucher couldn't make a connection on that one, and the Pandas steal it. Udall gives it a couple of whacks, forces it in to the offensive zone, where it takes a couple deflections, and back come the Huskies out to center ice. Weisner harassed by Carruthers, with help from Kelly Stanford, who now pressures the puck. And still pressuring the puck. Very active Kelly Stanford on this shift, and eventually helps the Pandas come away with it. Here comes Carruthers. Pandas have a 3-on-3 breaking in. Carruthers from the right wing chips into the corner for Stanford. Stanford loses out, and back come the Huskies to center ice. Nope, they don't. They turn it over. There's Carruthers, and now Carruthers with it. She'll put it between and then fire, and that's saved by Jucha. Carruthers has that wicked wrist shot, and that's the wrong person you want to see between the circles. Jucha equal to the task. 2 shots for the Pandas now in this period, 17 on the evening. Just a little under 3 minutes into period number 3, still scoreless. Melnick now with the puck behind the Pandas net. Gets it to Carruthers, who's been out there a long time and is going to stay out there. Now she heads to the bench. Keyser with it, had it knocked off her stick at the last second, but still holds the puck into the zone, where she'll throw it looking for Holly Magnus. And Magnus and Black combined to keep the puck in for now. Now Magnus and Soiko combined to win the puck. And now Keyser's tied up behind the Husky net. Gets it away to Soiko, back to the blue line in Black. Around it goes. One-timer is deflected off the stick of Keyser and handled by Jucha. Good puck movement that time, though. Riley Smith, we know, can shoot from deep, and Keyser was there to get a touch. And yet again, Jucha equal to the task with their 18th save.
Clara Jucha does not seem to be backing down from this fight anytime soon.
Nope. I don't think she's looked uncomfortable in any one of those 18 saves either. That one's whacked at. It'll stay in play. I think the one time she was a little uncertain was when it Karam off the end boards. Caught everybody by surprise. And that stays in. Black was able to hold it in, but now the Huskies win it away, and they might have a 2-on-1. Black ushering the play to the outside. Alexin, opted to play for the pass, and it goes wide. Wraparound thought about by Stevens is wide of the mark. And again, that transition by the Huskies is a threat. We've seen it several times today. Just when the Pandas seem like they're comfortable on the offensive side of things, the Huskies break out. And it's taken a couple of good saves by Dojan, and that time a good defensive retreat by Black, who made up for her turnover with a good defensive play. But you don't want to play with fire too much, especially as we enter the last 15 minutes of regulation. Here's Holly Magnus up with it. Keyser crashing towards the net. Magnus will chip it to her. Keyser knocked off the puck by Bulger. And somehow, some way, Magnus able to get that back into the corner. And back come the Huskies. And deflects off a Panda skate and back out to center ice, and that hit a Panda, so it will be an offside. And that'll give everyone a chance to breathe. 5 minutes into this period. No Husky shots, 3 Panda shots, still no goals. 0-0 our score, 15-12 to play.
Seems like every period has started off that way. One team comes out here, peppers the opposing goalie with shots, and the other one doesn't have any shots.
Yet again, it's our ice tilted to our left. To be fair, the Pandas did control the second half of period number 2, so we did get a little bit of a break from looking to our left. Yeah, Zukowski bumped off the puck. Pandas with it. Udall. One of Riley's picks for the breakthrough moment here in period number 3 with it. Spins away from pressure. Still with the puck. Now harassed by Zukowski, who does just enough to stop the momentum of Udall. And the Huskies still not able to get the puck out of the zone. Again, Pandas' forecheck has been excellent. Just haven't been able to create that one defining moment yet. But they hold the puck in again. Nice pass by Cazell. Well, a little too much maybe. There, caught Udall by surprise with how much venom that pass had on it. And that'll allow the Huskies a chance to exit, and they finally do. And they're going to rule, no, they're going to call it an icing. So this very tired Husky line that's been out here well over a minute is going to have to go back and play defense one more time. Fans, the You Can Play project works to promote safety and inclusion for all who participate in sports, including LGBTQ+ athletes, coaches, and fans. If you can play, you can play. Visit youcanplay.org for more information and to make a donation to support their important initiatives. Again, this is the Stick Up for Pride night, hosted across Canada West, everywhere across Canada West this weekend. And that's why you see a lot of the players with rainbow tape on their sticks, supporting a very worthy cause. Pandas trying to make that a little bit more of a celebratory moment with a win here, as they're going to force a face-off. Jaden Morton crashes in, and it'll be an offensive zone draw coming, and the top line for the Pandas comes out. The way this game is going, the longer we wait for that goal, it could be the defining moment, and whoever scores it might leave their opponent absolutely no time to recover. As Annie King now with it in the right face-off circle, and that's a wicked deflection off of Soiko's skates. Fortunately for Jucha, didn't quite reach Jaden Morton on the back post, Natalie Keyser on the back post. Keezer, I think, a little upset about something that happened after the play as well. Had to be pulled away by one of the linesmen.
Yeah, she's jawing with 27 down there in the paint.
Shelby Williamson, they've been matched up most of the year. 4th year is Williamson, a 5th year Keezer. So lots of history between these two in what's already a heated rivalry. Magnus with the puck, backhand pass, doesn't make it through, intended for Soiko. Braden Stewart holds the puck alive though. And that's a nice pass by Magnus, finds King, now to Soiko, a little bit loose with the handle there, allows the Huskies to get possession, but again, they cannot get out of their zone. This is complete domination on possession time right now by the Pandas, and they got to make them pay. Stewart's shot doesn't get through. It was right there between the circles though, and the Huskies are going to be able to get that one out and get a very needed line change. Chase Melnick retreats with the puck to Magnus, who ushers it over to Stewart now on the left side. And now Kelly Stanford. Panda's able to get it out to center ice. It takes a deflection, and it's not going to be an icing call. Stanford did it well, and now the Pandas a chance one more time with this forecheck perhaps to set something up. Carruthers on the back check wins the puck, but it's at center ice at least if you're a Husky fan. Haley Carruthers continues to be a menace. Not the fastest skater. We're going to have a penalty here, and it's going to be on Alberta. And we'll see what this is, but it's going to be the 4th power play for Saskatchewan. Both teams 0 for. Obviously, there's no goals in the game. Panda's 0 for 2, but now the 4th chance, and it's going to be Haley Carruthers headed to the box. A little bit too pesky there was Haley Carruthers. And a chance for Sask on the power play.
Yeah, just a little shot up high from Carruthers there. A little too physical, but that's what you get with her. She loves being out there and throwing bodies around.
So the Pandas will have to continue their good work on the PK so far today. They've allowed 5 shots on the first 3. Almost half of the Husky shots in the game have come on the advantage. And we're getting late into the game, so any goal here is magnified in importance, and there it is. From deep with traffic, and Dojan beaten for the first time in a long time, and the Huskies score on the Pandas for the first time in over 2 years and lead 1-0 with that power play goal at 12-12 in period number 3.
Yeah, I believe that was 18 Jade Kaju there. Just picked her spot, really.
Yeah, skates in Cadu with the, don't think it deflected there off Boucher, but she was the one with the net front presence. Cadu claims it, and it doesn't matter. The Huskies lead 1-0.
In a game like this, that feels insurmountable.
It does. And as good as the Pandas PK looked on the first 3 attempts, it only took 20 seconds for the Huskies on trip number 4 to take a 1-0 lead. And it is Cadu who is awarded the goal. And Boucher with one of the assists. And Zukowski with the other assist there. So 12-12, which is the amount of time the Pandas have to even this one up and try to send us at least to overtime to pick up a valuable point, which would pull them even with Trinity Western in the standings. And the Pandas, including this game, have 3 games in hand on the Spartans right now. And a loose puck there. This is danger time. It's still loose. Pandas cannot afford to yield another goal right now. And really good puck handling that time. But a better shot block by Ryan Parrott, who's able to get it to Soiko. And Soiko chips off the sideboards and will get it deep. Pandas are changing. And Boucher back onto the ice after having a power play assist, plays the puck. And then Weisner wins the puck away from Melnick, who gets it back to Boucher. And Dojan makes her most important save of the evening to keep this 1-0 where it is in favor of the Huskies.
We've heard of the Bouche bomb here in Edmonton. That was more like a Bouche grenade right there.
Little tap there, but the second time she's had a good look from between the circles, and you keep giving the leading scorer of the Huskies those kind of looks, and she's going to find the back of the net eventually. Credit Dojan with the quality save, though. Came up to the top of her crease to cut off the angle. Pandas clear the puck off the faceoff, but Huskies have possession. And now Holly Magnus wins it away for a moment. Pandas able to get it back to center ice. Huskies have done a really good job clogging up neutral ice today. It's really slowed up what can be a very potent Pandas transition. And that one deflects off of a leg, and now Keyser with it, fires that puck. I think intended for Rosari, who's just onto the ice. As they've changed up the lines a little bit, Keyser has it, retreats with it, now up to the left face-off circle, and she'll just float that one in on net. I think looking for a deflection off of Udall's stick, but Udall didn't get there, and Jucha did. 19 shots for the Pandas, have not found the back of the net.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's been a struggle all night for the Pandas, and you see them huddle up there for this offensive face-off here, maybe drawing up a play.
Jucha looking for her third shutout of the year, which, if she would pull it off, would tie her with Mackenzie Dojon, who's in the opposition net for Alberta, tied for third in Canada West. The leaders, co-leaders, are Lucifora and Huggins, both of UBC, with 4. So Jucha, again, making just her 8th appearance, or 8th start of the year, I should say, but looking like she deserves it, and a lot more if she keeps playing like this. That one into the Pandas bench, and we'll do it all over again. We're halfway through period 3. 1-0, the Huskies leading. These two teams will play each other again tomorrow, again 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Canada West TV. Will it be the Huskies breaking a 7-game losing streak, or the Pandas looking for a 4th consecutive season sweep? That is what is at stake in these last 10 minutes, as well as some valuable points for playoff positioning. Again, both these teams, that one deflects wide off a couple of sticks there. Braden Stewart creating chaos with that, but both of these teams getting positive results from other matchups in Canada West, as UBC beat Trinity Western, which is a big help for the Pandas, as Gottselig just absolutely dumps down Parrott, and now the Pandas are going to go on the power play. Parrott's taking a couple of wicked shots in this period, and now Alberta's chance for a response here with the man advantage. And they got to make this one count, you think, and it's the goal scorer, Cadu, I think. No, it's Gottselig. He's going to the box.
Oh, man, yeah. Once again, Parrott just taking the brunt of it.
Gottselig, the second-year defenseman. Now with 18 penalty minutes after that one, and the Pandas, who had 4 shots on their last power play, just couldn't beat Jucha, really need one now. The Huskies sit awfully deep. Pandas will be patient early, but how long do you want to be patient for? Annie King wanted the pass. Instead, it goes the way of Keyser. Up top to Smith. Back to Keyser at the right face-off circle. She'll shoot. It's blocked. And now a chance for the Huskies to clear. They do. And it's Narani, and she'll get a shot in. Dojon saves that one, settles it. Huskies back off, allowing the Pandas to retrieve the puck. Keyser will skate it up herself, up the left wing, around 1, not around 2. And yes, around 2, as losing her stick there was Juliana Herman. She's got it back now, but the Pandas have the puck, and Holly Magnus from the right face-off circle. Pass evades everybody. Comes around to Haley Craig, back to the blue line to Cazell. Back to Soiko, that shot saved by Jucha. Now Cazell again. In trouble with it for a minute, gets the pass off. Now Parrott, who drew the penalty. Now to Haley Craig, back to the blue line to Cazell. Power play, 45 seconds to go. 8 minutes to go in the game. 1-0 Huskies, who just scored on a power play a moment ago. Cazell whistles that wide. Might have took a deflection off of Parrott. Haley Craig with it now. Her shot through, and Jucha didn't know where that was. Huskies still can't clear. Craig with it. Thought about the shot. Still thinking about the shot. Hands it off instead to Soiko, who fires, and a really quick pounce by Jucha on the rebound to prevent any follow-up. 18 seconds to go. Pandas again, they've looked like the better power play today, but they're the one that hasn't scored. Jucha continuing to stymie and frustrate Alberta.
Yeah, Soiko's had a couple opportunities here to put it in. That's what you want to see from her, though. That's a good shot.
And Jucha a little slow to get up after that. They're attending to her right there. That would be the last thing you want to see. Or was it Jucha, or there's also Herman, Juliana Herman, one of their defensemen. And they're both kind of down on the ice a little bit. And Jucha is, well, maybe it's an equipment issue. We'll see here in a second, but she's heading to the bench right now.
Could be a glove issue
I
or
think
something.
That's all it is. Yeah, she looks to be skating fine, and unless there's something cataclysmic, I don't think they're taking her off the ice anytime soon. But now we have one of the Husky trainers out onto the ice, so I guess if you're the Pandas, this isn't the worst thing, because your top power play unit is getting a big breather right now. They're not back onto the ice yet, but this could give them an opportunity to rest up and just throw them right back out there for the last 18 seconds on this Gotslake minor. As both teams skate over to the bench, as we see again, trainer tending to Clare Jucha, is maybe it's an issue with the glove hand more than the glove itself. And we have a lengthy delay here and a chance for the Pandas to talk some strategy over on the bench. They're going to keep the second power play unit, which has Jaden Morden and Ryan Parrott on it, amongst others, on the bench, as Jucha is back in net, so she's going to be all right. And we're going to resume play here. Good to see. Never want to, especially the way she's playing, never want to see someone leave with injury. So,
and you can see the strategy from the Huskies here is just to drop really low, you know, and don't let Alberta crowd the net like they have been on these last few power plays, and it's working so far.
Can Alberta get last shot or two here? 10 seconds and counting. Annie King fakes the shot, hands it off. Shot fired, didn't make it through. Parrott might have blocked it herself, but she has the puck. Penalty is expiring. Pandas try to shovel it in front of the net. Annie King's shot pass finds Carruthers, takes a deflection. Now the Pandas from the far side, shot by Parrott, covered by Jucha, and just like that, the opportunity is over. A couple more good looks. 23 shots to 15 in favor of the Pandas, but the only stat that matters, 1-0, the Huskies lead on goals. 7:14 to go.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that power play. It's just unlucky right now.
Back-to-back excellent power plays, just no reward. As Pandas continuing to control play after that, they got to keep up that momentum. You got 7 minutes to at least send it to overtime and pick up a valuable point that would draw them level with Trinity in the standings. The goal scorer, Cadu, able to get it out. It's taken away as Chase Melnick retreats with the puck. Around the boards it goes to Bordetti, who couldn't quite find it. And that's awkwardly loose. Udall now in a battle for it, but it's held by the Huskies. That one chopped a little bit wide of the net of Dojan. And now the Huskies have a little bit of sustained offensive zone time. Rosari in a battle with two Huskies. And somehow Rosari's the one coming out with the puck. At this point, we shouldn't be surprised. Always playing bigger than her size is the 4'11" Rosari. But the Huskies content now to drain valuable time with the puck pinned up against the sideboards in their own offensive zone. Officials continuing to let this play out. How long? And there's your answer. They blow it dead with 6:06 to go. Not a lot of shifts left in this one, and you figure you're going to see a lot of lines 1 and 2 for Alberta in a bid to get this come from behind goal here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that fourth line out there again. They've been doing really well on offense so far, too. I wouldn't discount them.
Janae Williams has looked active for the Pandas. Haven't seen much of her in this period, but was very effective in the second. As here comes Abby Soiko and the Pandas. Soiko, the Pandas' leading scorer, trying to create something here. You figure she and Keyser and Morden, three of the ones you'd be looking to make a difference right here. Holly Magnus as well. Bodies down to the ice right in front of the Pandas bench. There's a scrum. Riley Smith comes away with it. And the Pandas, really nice pass that time by Black. Magnus able to get it around the end boards where it's pursued by Keyser, but controlled by Saskatchewan. Gottslig trying to get it out, and the Huskies do. Pandas are changing. And here come the Huskies. Katinin. Shot blocked by Haley Craig, who continues with it. 1-on-4, she takes the puck into the Husky zone. Great effort by Craig there. And now Ryan Parrott with it, back to Craig. Nice little pass there. Shot was blocked at the last second with a back check. You like the give and go between Craig and Parrott, though, two veterans trying to create some late third period magic. We're under 5 minutes to play. Pandas need a goal, trailing 1-0. These two teams again will play tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. As that shot wide of the net. As is that one from Herman. But the Huskies getting the puck in their offensive zone. Pandas struggling to get it out right now. Huskies still with it. Now Herman will shoot from deep and saved by Dojon. Big rebound, cleared out of the way by Braden Stewart, who has the puck now. Makes a nice stick handle there around two Huskies. And here comes the first-year Stewart getting that one in deep. Still after the puck. What a little stint this is from the first year. Huskies, unfortunately, if you're a Pandas fan, come away with it, but don't discount the effort there from Braden Stewart. They got to play defense again. The goal scorer, Cadu, nearly had another there. Riley Smith doing just enough to force the issue wide. And Cadu gets crashed into the boards behind the play. Less than 4 minutes to go now. The Pandas, how long until they pull the goalie? Here's Haley Carruthers, whose penalty led to the power play goal, but has otherwise had a very solid game for the Pandas. Where's the puck? Haley Craig looking for it. It comes away to Sask. 3:20 to go. Huskies skating it out. Here's Gotzelig. Plays it off the sideboards. A little too far for her teammate. Finds Riley Smith instead. Now Morden. Lots of snow in front of that Husky bench. Really slowing the puck down. And again there. And that forces a turnover on what looked like it could have been a break-in for the Pandas. This game has gotten a bit sloppy, and which will serve the Huskies very well right now with 3 minutes to go now. Game continues to be played at center ice. Nobody knows where the puck is. And the Huskies away with it. And here's Sarah Kendall on a big save by Dojon. 16th save on 17 attempts. Another excellent night for her. Will it be in vain, or will her teammates come back and at least send this one to OT? Ryan Parrott with it. Pass denied, but right back to her. The ice has really slowed down noticeably all over the place in the last few minutes. That puck is not moving at all on a lot of these passes, and it's not going to move far enough there to get an icing. Annie King has to play it, finds Soiko. 2:15. How long until Dojon heads to the bench? She's at the top of her crease right now, waiting the signal. Panda's got to get the puck in deep first, though, and they haven't been able to do that the last couple of minutes. Now they do. Dojon sprints to the bench. Sarah Cazell out as the extra attacker. Soiko scores! And it took 3 seconds with the man advantage. It wasn't a power play, but it was a 6-on-5. And Abby Soiko breaks her scoring drought, and we are tied 1-1.
There she is, Abby Soiko. That's who you need in these big moments. Big-time players make big-time plays. And Juchas is trying to play the puck here. Goes past all these Huskies, and Soiko's right there, served to her on a silver platter. That's a backbreaker for the Huskies.
Backbreaker there.
Wow.
2 minutes to go. Jaden Morden, let's give her a lot of credit, won that puck behind the net and fed a beautiful pass to her teammate Soiko. So Soiko now picking up her 7th goal on the year. Morden will pick up her 6th assist on that. The only assist on that play, so Morden assisting Soiko, and the two veterans getting this one tied up. And that one stays onside. Nope, a blatant offside call. So 1:33 to go, and it's all to play. It was really a lull, not really a lot going on after that last Pandas power play, and just kind of out of nowhere, right as Dojon heads to the bench, the Pandas scored.
Yeah, what a time. You got to capitalize on those opportunities, and you know, who else but your two most potent players on offense making that happen.
First goal of 2026 for Soiko, who came into this game 11th in Canada West in points overall. Potentially moving her way further up those leaderboards, depending on how the rest of the games was shook out. And now you would think anything that finds the back of the net in regulation would be a winning goal, and that's going to be a critical late game icing as the Huskies will get a golden opportunity here with an offensive zone draw on 1:06 to play. Fortunately for the Pandas, Keyser, one of their better face-off specialists, out there to take this draw. As we take another look at that goal here. And Morden, picking off that pass from Jucha, who hasn't done much wrong, but she might want that pass back.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Jucha play the puck much tonight either, so that's probably the last time we see her play the puck.
Alberta got very aggressive because they had to. Morden made a play and Soiko made a play. And we are into our final minute of regulation, 1-1 our score. Both goals coming in the back half of period number 3. Power play goal for the Huskies. And then that very late tying goal from Abby Soiko right as the Pandas had pulled Dojon for the extra skater. So both teams scoring with a man advantage, albeit in different fashion. Now, with 30 seconds, here comes Braden Stewart. How about the time for your first Pandas goal? Nope. Did her best, but there was 2 Huskies in the way. And the puck back to center ice. Pandas in control with 20 seconds to go. Morden will loft that in, settled by Jucha. And I think wisely, as you said, opted not to do anything besides that. Now the Huskies in possession will skate it out. Can either team get one last gasp look here? Ryan Parrott with it, 1 second, got to get it away, and that's going to be too late. Morden shot about a second after the buzzer, and we will go to overtime. So both teams pick up a valuable point, but they're going to want more. 1-1 our score, but kind of fair play the way that most of this game shook out that we had to overtime in this one.
Yeah, this is a well-deserved overtime for both these teams. It's been a big back and forth here, and of course it'd be fireworks in the third period. That's what we were expecting, right?
Yeah, it was. No goals through 2 periods. As we take a look at the head-to-head between these 2 teams so far. As Alberta, again, 2 goals per game, a little less than a goal and a half for Sask. So Riley called it pregame. It wouldn't be a high-scoring one. It has been entertaining, especially the last 2 periods. And then the power play goal for the Huskies. But Abby Soiko, when the team needed her most, stepped up, and we're going to have an entertaining next up to 5 minutes or a shootout. Now, I don't think heading into the third period, Alberta might have won it overtime, but given the way things shook out, they'll be happy to be here right now.
Yeah, momentum's on their side right now, and like we said before, not a great team in overtime and shootouts, but maybe they can exercise those demons in these next 5 minutes potentially.
That one game they won in overtime this year was against Regina last Friday, a week ago, when Natalie Keyser won it on Alberta's 51st shot on net to win 1-0. So I'm sure we'll take a look and see if Keyser is one of those players to watch as well. But either way, Alberta has drawn level with Trinity Western in the standings. Trinity does have the tiebreaker, but Alberta does have 2 games in hand. But they could they can jump the Spartans here completely if they're able to pull out this overtime win. The Huskies, with their point and Manitoba's loss, has moved into the final playoff position in the Canada West Eastern Division. So both these teams have got to be happy the way that's played out as well. As we take a very quick look at the highlights here as we're just getting set for our overtime period with a few seconds left to go. There's your Sask goal right there. Again, the power play goal from Cadu.
Yeah, if you turned your TV off during this one in the third period, shame on you, because we got ourselves a good one in overtime here.
3-on-3, it's going to be fun, and Alberta will throw out a very strong 3. Keyser, Soiko, and Annie King. Be opposed by Cadu, the goal scorer for the Huskies. And Williamson, who wins that puck cleanly on the face-off. Face-off so critical on 3-on-3 because there's so much space to work with the puck. And the Huskies promptly give it away, and you could see the intent there by Soiko trying to play in Keyser. It was cut out, though, and the Huskies back with it. That's a loose pass. And Zukoski somehow coming up with it. She'll skate in from the right side. First offensive zone time for either team. And circling behind the net are the Huskies. Pandas play deep, 3-on-3 again. Any penalties will add skaters rather than take them away. Keyser, stick check, gets that one out towards center ice. Huskies will change, so will the Pandas, at least partially. Jaden Morden Again, stole that pass off of Jucha's stick and played the assist to Abby Soiko to send us to overtime. Is on. Big save there for Dojan. Follow-up attempt blocked by Berdetti. Actually, not Berdetti. Soiko, who's still out there on her first shift. 19, not 18. Soiko, who's been out here for all a minute and 10 seconds now, made that huge block, and Dojan gloves that one down, and Soiko gets a break. So the goal scorer turns goal saver, and we're still scoreless here in overtime. Well, 1-1, but no goals in overtime.
Yeah, I'm sure Soiko wishes she could play the whole 5 minutes if she could.
So, wicked, tricky shot there, low. Handled well by Dojan. 18 saves on 19 attempts. Both these goalies you think would be in the 3 stars of the game, along with maybe whoever gets the winner, depending on how things play out. Ryan Parrott goes for a skate. Kendall sits down. Lost her skates. Now Morden with traffic fires, and right there is Jucha, as Parrott down on her knees was kind of providing a half screen, and that might have given just enough room for Jucha to see that shot.
Yeah, I think if Parrott isn't on her butt here, Morton might hit her in the back. So maybe that was planned though.
It's the set plays they draw up that you don't think about.
Yeah.
It's like those basketball inbound plays when half the players fall down, causing confusion. And the Huskies skated out. Here's Gottslig. Wisely retreats. Again, possession so key in these 3-on-3 moments. Huskies still with it, but they turn it over. Morden doing enough there on the back check. And now Haley Craig with it. Morden will head off. Who do the Pandas throw out? It's Keyser. So they're starting to shuffle that top line back out there. Soiko is coming back out as well. So she took about a 40-second break, and she's back on and has it between the circles now. She'll fire, gets blocked. Back onto her stick though. And Annie King completes the line change for the Pandas. Back out are the 3 who started the overtime for Alberta. Annie King now going for a skate in her second year after transferring from Dartmouth down in the NCAA. Soiko, left face-off circle, fires, and a good stick there to prevent that from getting in. I think that was Gottslig. Yes, it was. Now powering to the net was Keyser. Couldn't quite pull off the shot. Back to Soiko. Longest sustained zone time for either team in this overtime period. It has 2:20 to go. Otherwise, we'll head to a shootout. Back to King at the blue line. To the right face-off circle, back to Soiko. Soiko stymied, but it comes right to Keyser, who's got some speed, and she fires hard into the pads of the backhand, just wide. Might have been a second save there. King thought she had a winner, denied by Jucha. Turnover, Holly Magnus with the shot, tried to go backhand, and Jucha again with the save. 3 saves in a row for Jucha, who has been outstanding tonight and is the reason this game is still going.
Unbelievable. I really thought King had that one down there.
Keyser, wicked shot, forces the rebound, and Annie King on her backhand. Didn't miss by much. Less than 2 minutes to go. Holly Magnus, Braden Stewart, and Riley Smith out there. So they're playing 2D and 1 forward on this shift. Although the way Braden Stewart's played in the last period and a half, she's been as much a forward as a defender. Sask will retreat with the puck, and there is Stewart winning the puck. Terrific effort by the first year again. Missed 7 or 8 games heading into the break, but came back last weekend against Regina, and the Pandas have certainly missed her. She's a force, and the Pandas get another 3 years after this year with her as well. Morden with it. She fires, and Jucha able to glove that one. You can see Morden trying to pick out the space between body and glove, but there was none. Pandas are getting all the looks right now, but we're 1 minute and 3 seconds from going to a shootout.
Everything just gets a little bit tighter in overtime, doesn't it? And Morden up close in front of the net there, and yeah, once again, Jucha, we're singing her praises all night.
And made one mistake, which is why we're in overtime, but the reason this game isn't over is also because of Jucha, who's more than done her share in the net. As has Dojan for the Pandas. Dojan really didn't have anything to do with the power play goal. Not much she could do. Just a terrific shot by Cadu. Now the Huskies with some offensive zone time as we're 34 seconds left in overtime. Huskies playing keep away. You think they'd at least want to force this to a shootout at this point, not turn it over. Give the Pandas a late go. Keyser made a play at the puck, and now Keyser might have something here up the right wing. She doesn't have help, but the captain heads in, and a great play by Bolger to deny Keyser the inside position. 14 seconds to go. Soiko's stick is held. Nothing called. And now the Huskies come away with it. 8 seconds to go. One last look for Sask from deep into the skates of Annie King. And we are going to head to a shootout. 1-1 our score. No goals in overtime. Pandas did get 6 shots on net. Huskies got 2, but none finding the back of the net. And we will go to a shootout. And it is a situation that the Pandas, I'm sure, would like to have avoided, but also a way they could right some wrongs right now. They're 0-4 on the shootout this year and just 1 shootout goal.
Yeah, no better way to get the monkey off your back than getting a shootout win here at home.
We take a look at some of those highlights. A lot of highlights for a 5-minute period. Early chances for Sask. Good save there by Dojan. Yeah, trying to correct those wrongs from the shootouts here. I mean, at some point you kind of just gotta say enough is enough, right? Continue to take a look at those highlights. Jaden Morden very active through that period there, but Jucha continuing, and now the Pandas have to find a way past Jucha and net in one of these 3 attempts.
Yeah, all I can say is I'm glad I'm not in their shoes right now because Jucha has been unreal tonight. I mean, so has Dojan, but I mean, like you said, Jucha's not even their main starter.
Nope.
That's unbelievable.
Colby Wilson has made more appearances this year, the 5th-year netminder. We'll likely see her tomorrow night. They're going to Zamboni a couple of strips here for shootout. They always do for Canada West Hockey. Should be noted, the only goal on the season for a shootout for the Pandas is from Haley Carruthers. That came against McEwen in the last game before the break. As we take a look at the updated standings here, as again Alberta having gotten a point today and Trinity Western having lost, has drawn even with the Spartans with 2 games in hand for 2nd place, and Saskatchewan has surpassed Manitoba for 3rd place in the Canada West Eastern Division standings. For Saskatchewan in a shootout, they have a couple shootout goals, just 2, and it's from Pepi Vertinen and Sarah Kendall, both with 1 on the year. So neither of these teams prolific in the shootout, but somebody's got to win, and you got 2 very good goalies. You imagine this could come down to 1 goal.
Yeah, I think so, and it's just a matter of who's going to be able to put it past one of these brick walls tonight.
Again, as they Zamboni things here for a couple of minutes, we remind you that tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we'll be back on the air for game number 2 on Canada West TV. And then we'll be back next weekend as well as the Pandas host the Manitoba Bisons. And then there's only 1 more home game after that for the Pandas, and that comes in the final weekend of the year when the Pandas play 1 game here and 1 game across town at McEwen. And we'll honor the seniors there. So just like that, we just entered the new year, and we're already, it's the crazy end of the Canada West hockey season. Of course, the Pandas still very much could be hosting a playoff series. But after tonight, 4 guaranteed home games left.
It's a gauntlet, and you know, it's cliche to say, but every game matters from here on out, and I'm sure that's what Coach Draper's telling his team right now. You know, the overtime and the shootouts have not been kind to the Pandas, but if they could get 1 right off rip here in the new year, how good would you feel as a team moving forward this next 4 games?
Yeah, get that bugaboo off your back, get that valuable 2nd point, leap the Spartans officially in the standings, and really put the pressure on Trinity, who has to play at league leading and league runaway UBC tomorrow again. They will play at home, but that's a difficult one for the Spartans. And so the Pandas could be coming out of this weekend as good as they could be. They could be up 3 points and 2 games on Trinity. entering the latter stages of the year. So that is what is at stake for the Pandas. Again, we'll recap the scores from the other Canada West games. UBC beating Trinity Western 4-2. Grant McEwen coming back from behind and beating Manitoba 3-2. Both of those results favoring the teams on the ice today. And now just final, Mount Royal holding off Regina 4-3 in a thriller in Calgary. On the men's side of things, the Saskatchewan Huskies holding off the Golden Bears 7-4. It was 5-4 going to the third period before the Huskies poured it on late. As speaking of pouring on, Mount Royal blowing out Regina 9-2. Manitoba leading McEwen. Oh, they just scored the game winner in overtime against McEwen. 4-3, Manitoba wins that one. And with 4 minutes to go in period number 1, UBC already leading Trinity Western 4-0.
Wow. 9-2 though, that's
that is what happens sometimes when a team that has 6 points on the year plays a team that has 30. And as we'll take again, as heading into the shootout, we'll take a look at the 2 goals that got us here. The only 2 goals of the game coming in the last period. First, the power play goal here for Cadu, virtually unmarked, and Dojon couldn't do a lot about that. But then with time dwindling down inside 2 minutes, Dojon fresh onto the bench. Jaden Morton makes a great play. And here comes Abby Soiko with her 7th goal of the year, sending Jucha the wrong way and sending us to overtime where the Pandas got 6 shots but no goals. So it will be shootout time. And you imagine for the Pandas, we'll see Haley Carruthers because she's the only one who scored a goal. But who else can Alberta throw out there to try to break this shootout drought?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, Soiko and Morton got to be out there too, of course. Those are your 2 scorers. And then I would throw, Udall's had a great game tonight. The puck has been stuck to her stick, literally. Like, it doesn't ever fall off. And even Janae Williams, I think you give her a shot on the shootout as well.
Why not? 4th liner, you give him a shot. Maybe you unlock something. As the Zamboni is off the ice, the goalies are coming out to the ice. Alberta will be shooting from right to left. Sask will shoot left to right. And one of these goalies will be a hard luck loser, as both of them have been terrific. The respective number 1s, showing that they are number 1s. And for the Pandas, who will shoot first, it will be Abby Soiko, who sent us here with that late tying goal in period 3. Has not scored on a shootout this year. Did score a couple last year on the shootout. As we are set to get underway, first attempt here for Soiko. As wide of the net, you can see the intent. I think probably had Jucha beat, but a little bit too much on that, and Soiko misses, and Sask gets the first little advantage here. And for them, it'll be Weisner coming out. With Dojon waiting for her. Dojon comes out to the top of the crease and then some. And that might have done something to Weisner. I mean, Dojon's about 2 feet beyond the blue paint there, and another shot wide.
Yeah, interesting strategy from Dojon. I think that kind of threw Weisner off a little bit on her approach.
Yeah, even as she slides backwards there, she's still not in the crease. So both goalies didn't get a save, but doing enough to force misses, and it'll be Riley Smith for the Pandas on attempt number 2. And oh, what a great recovery there. I think Smith needed to be a little quicker on the shot. Jucha was beat badly, but made a terrific recovery here. Right there, she's got to shoot it.
Oh,
and I don't know how she keeps that one out.
Unreal.
Maybe Smith needs to get about another inch of air on that, I guess. So 2 misses for the Pandas, and now Sask with the opportunity here on their second chance to go up. And they will not. Dojon saw that all the way for Tinen, who does have one of those shootout goals. Stymied, and we're down to the final attempts, and it will be Captain Keyser for the Pandas. The goal here puts all the pressure in the world on the Huskies. A miss puts all the pressure on Dojon. And Kieser scores. Came in with a lot of speed and picked out her corner, and the captain has put the Pandas one shot away from their first shootout win of the year. Well, you can't really ask for more. She comes up clutch time and time again, does Kieser. And if Dojan can seal the deal, it'll be the second game in 2 weekends she's won in overtime. Final attempt coming here for Sask, and it is Cadu who is denied by Dojan. And for the first time in the 2025-26 season, the Pandas have won a shootout, and it couldn't come at a bigger time. And I think just reward for how well the team played overall today.
Yeah, and who else but, Captain Kieser to cap off a really great night. Before Soiko scored that goal to tie it, I was thinking this is just one of those games where you play all three phases well, offense, defense, special teams, but you just lose. But here we are, and the Pandas have that grit and that ice in their veins, and they got that overtime shootout win that they've been much sought after.
And you just saw that last save for Dojan. It was her best of the 2 saves that she made. It's full stretch there with her left pad, making the save. What a game for Canada West, game of the week here on CBC. Alberta wins 2-1 in a shootout. With that, they have officially jumped Trinity Western a point ahead of the Spartans for second place in the Canada West Western Division and hosting rights for a quarterfinal series, as well as having 2 games in hand on the Spartans. So that's a big one for the Pandas. Let's recap the scoring. It was Jade Cadu first for Saskatchewan on the power play midway through period number 3. And then with the goalie pulled, Abby Soiko with exactly 2 minutes to go in regulation scores the tying goal. And then Natalie Kieser, the captain, with the only shootout goal. And the Pandas win it 2-1. Riley, your thoughts on tonight's matchup?
Yeah, like I said, the Pandas played a near-perfect game, and they were still out of it. And time again, this team finds themselves down and out, and they have their veteran players step up and put the team on their back and grab them this win. It's now or never for this team if they want, to move up in the standings, and they've done that. And this is a big weekend for them. And if they want to host that playoff home game, they're on the right track.
Kenzie Dojan picking up her 6th win of the season, moves to 6-1-1. Alberta now has 2 overtime and shootout wins. So starting to make a little bit of headway there. They've won 2 out of 3 in overtime to start 20. In fact, all their games in 2026 have been in overtime. So will we see another one of those tomorrow? Remains to be seen, but we will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. It'll be on Canada West TV, and it should be another exciting one between these two fierce rivals from neighboring provinces. Alberta now on an 8-game win streak. Saskatchewan trying to break that. 8 games against Saskatchewan, I should say, as well as an 8-game point streak in league play this season. So again, 2-1 Alberta wins in a shootout, courtesy of Abby Soiko's tying goal and Natalie Kieser's shootout winner. The Pandas move into second place in the Canada West Western Division. For Julian Schulthouse and our entire production crew, thank you so much for all the players, coaches, and all of you listeners tuning in. He's Riley Turgeon. I'm Patrick Erickson. Until 5 p.m. tomorrow, we will see you. Good night from Clare Drake Arena. Pandas win 2-1 in a shootout on Canada West TV, powered by BioSteel and on CBC.